that 1 year.
Yeah.
And he was a Warrior for about an hour and a half, if I'm not mistaken.
I think if you end the season with the team and they win, that qualifies.
What up, Goo? What up, Steiny? What do you think of everything going on? Steiny's got the glasses on right now because he's hunting for additional deals.
I want to mention something because of the way that this just got phrased by Adrian Wojnarowski. The secondary tweet after the first one with the GP2 News says the Warriors are routing Kevin Knox to the Blazers in the multi-team deal with the Pistons. So the GP2 thing is a part of the Wiseman deal.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because that means that news about what's going on in that deal, in theory, is still filtering in.
Doesn't that make it a 4-team deal?
Yes, it does. That's
because
why
Atlanta's also in there.
Atlanta's in it. Yes, this is Atlanta, Detroit, Portland, and Golden State.
And I love the routing. It's like Kevin Knox is in the air, and as he's in the air, the word comes to the don't fly Knox to the Bay Area. We want to fly him to Portland, please.
Wow.
Kevin Knox is being routed to Portland. Poor guy's getting flown all over the country.
James Wiseman for GP2.
Willard, I'll say this.
Unbelievable.
To what you said. How? Because you're preaching. This team needs defense. And I'm telling you, GP2 is going to help this defense. And for the people in the back, forget the bet. I mean the words coming out of my mouth. The trade deadline was the report on Stephen Curry. Because when he comes back, now you're telling me essentially the Warriors can't win it or go back-to-back because they don't have Porter Jr. and Bielitsa. I think they can. Right now, I didn't like the Fawcett getting turned off last night, but you needed some defense. Go take the ball from the best ball handler, and GP2, if he can stay healthy, can do that. And when the chef comes back, that's when it's go time. And I do understand everybody else is getting better, but the Warriors are champions.
By the way, Nemanja Bjelica is currently playing for Fenerbahce, so I'm not sure if we can swing an interleague deal.
That was risky.
If we can, I don't know if they can send Ryan Rollins with his Jones fracture to Fenerbahce in a multi-league deal. But, Guru, I'm sorry. Trading Wiseman for GP2.
Well, that's a whole nother conversation. I feel bad for him.
Every other team in the West is loading up with howitzers, and you got yourself a squirt gun.
Okay, but you got the ring. The throne is here.
For now.
Somebody's got to beat them 4 out of 7. I love the Durant to Phoenix, Willard. Are you telling me? And I'm asking Steiny. I know his answer. That's it? It's over? No.
Not at all.
You got to beat, with Steph back, this team, Kerr, and all of the pedigree.
So, again, no one wants to do this because it's not as fun. We would much rather, really get out there with power and win. But if you're the Warriors, Dibs, we talked about this a couple times. A, how are you selling something to your fans? And B, how are you selling it to your locker room? This isn't huge, but how do you think Steph, Clay, and Dre feel when you walk in today and go, so, we got the guy who couldn't play out of here, and we brought your teammate back, who Steph specifically asked us not to let go. It will resonate. Is it enough? Probably not. But it will resonate, and it will have an effect. It's not great. It's not a Durant-Kyrie rival, right. And maybe Anunoby in the next 53 seconds is going to show up.
I'm hoping with all that stuff.
But
Kuminga?
If this is it,
no,
that's not. If this is it, it's not great, but it's a hell of a lot better than it was 7 minutes ago.
It's a D- is what it is.
It's a D-. It was an. I don't think it's a D-.
You traded a DNP future, who knows what, for a guy coming off an injury who is severely offensively limited on a team that desperately needs more than just GP2. The conference is loading up all around you.
Yeah, but that wasn't available.
You brought back Gary Payton
but that wasn't available. The point, the way I think that this will hit Steph is you took a maybe and probably not in the future, and you turned it into now. That's all those guys have been asking for. Yeah. Give me some now.
Go guard Durant.
But if you look at the rest of the now in the West, you got capital N, capital O, capital W, and in GP2 you got a guy who's a champion.
Corner
and
three
I love
and can
GP2.
Yeah.
I will never forget following him at the parade, all tatted up as he's drinking Hennessy.
Truly?
With the fans. Exactly. But I look at what every other team did, and we're down to the final 10 seconds here in the deadline. Other teams loaded up way more. I'm very disappointed if that's all the Warriors have done. That was not a championship move.
It got harder for them to win the title. over the last week, I believe.
That's
Over the
fair.
last day,
Okay.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
nobody saw him doing that last year.
Well, you can keep holding on to that, and that's going to be the theme until they're either eliminated from the playoffs until they get knocked out. I mean, you're going to be able to lead on last year.
This is like a fantasy draft all over, Dibs, and I got victimized when Harden went to Brooklyn. That ain't how you win chips. You win chips the way the Warriors did it, and I'm not ignoring the fact that all these other teams improved their chances. Phoenix, but Willard, the Warriors got their way, and they shocked us and won it last year. You cannot tell me bringing Peyton Jr. back, he was your heart and soul. Is he perfect? No,
Now
but he
he's, wait a
helps.
minute. Don't, stop it.
He helps.
Stop saying he's their heart and soul. Draymond Green's their heart and soul. Gary Payton was a nice role
He
player
was your
for
liver.
him last year. Nice role player for you. This is a big mistake.
There's-
the Wiseman thing. That's
He
going to
was-
hurt him
okay.
down the line.
Oh, that's
That we're talking about now in this
it's a
season,
huge mess,
Stoney.
but again,
it goes
but-
hand in hand.
but there is
you can
some-
say they got better today, Mark.
they did.
but
No doubt.
I think this is
May come at a cost.
In the end, this is more in the back room. This is more about money and emotions. It's also about emotions. Monty Poole just tweeted seconds ago, letting GP2 go last number was not a popular decision inside the walls of Chase Center. Getting him back healthy and happy makes a lot of folks happy. So, did the Warriors, did they keep pace with the conference? No. Did they absolutely whiff on the number 2 overall pick? Yeah, they did.
Wow.
But today, they made their core happy.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think.
But
I
they
think.
didn't
and you know
save
what?
any
something.
money because GP2, his salary next year is only about $1 million less than what Wiseman was going to make. So in terms of saving money,
Yeah, but it's
they
next
didn't
year.
save anything.
It's next year that matters more because that's when the pool thing goes into play. And next year, GP2's 8.7 and James is 12.1.
Okay,
and I
so
know that
3.4 times 5 is about a
the
15
escalator.
million.
Yeah,
Fine.
look to
No,
them.
I'm with you,
Yeah,
and
it
I get
matters
that.
to them.
And basically, what you're saying, and they will never hold this press conference, so I'm going to go ahead and do it for them. We screwed up by taking James Wiseman number 2.
man.
We didn't pick a player who was good enough to be a part of our team over the course of 3 years. We as an organization, as you like to say, we screwed up the pick. We got gifted the number 2 because Steph got hurt and we stunk and we blew it.
Man.
And that's the conference that they will never
no
have.
doubt.
But that's basically
and
what
if you
want to
bring up LaMelo Ball, you go ahead and
people
do
will
it. It's
now.
fair
Well,
now.
Now-
It is
now
fair.
it's official.
Now it's official.
Now it's official.
And you
People are
said
gonna
when
do
we
that.
were together as a show, I would take the bet. Remember how many days shows did we do? 51?
51
Stoney
long
was like,
weeks.
who? Some Dibs, I would take the best player available. And they didn't, and he's gone. And if you want to, I just think about LaMelo, he would still be here.
I give Mark a hard time because I say now that I wanted Halliburton. I thought Halliburton was a drug company. I wanted Obi Toppin. So I mean he's been barely
He's
better than
shooting
Wiseman.
threes
but
now, Tibbs.
if
Oh,
this is the
bro.
way the deadline day ends, where you trade Wiseman and you get back GP2, that to me is a D- in terms of the trade deadline.
But you're champs.
Fine.
Yeah, so
You know what you also are? You're the 9 seed. Or the 10 seed. I can't keep track.
You
because
didn't win the chip last year at the deadline. I get it. All this stuff looks sexy. I'm proud of myself. I'm not falling for it. You're getting these rentals, and you got to make it happen on the fly. And all this
Right.
stuff sounds good. The Lakers, the
You're living-
Clippers,
you're living in the past.
Suns,
You are living in the past.
The
You're
living in the
Warriors are
past.
okay.
Okay.
You're living in the
They're
past.
defending champs. Am I
Okay,
correct?
No, you're right.
Okay.
Let me just
And
ask you. Let me ask
why
you
don't you
this.
ask me what that means right now? Nothing.
But
doesn't
I'm not
mean
asking.
a damn thing.
Dad, I'm not asking.
You don't get a
'Cause it
win
don't matter
for being
until
defending
June.
champs.
It doesn't matter
Can I-
until June.
Can I get a piece of the $100 bet you made with Steiny?
No.
You want to double
That's
it?
it. No.
That's all I need to hear then.
Gary Payton II is a known commodity. They want to chip with him. Getting him back, it ain't Farrah Fawcett.
No,
but I'm telling you, Willard, it helps him.
Oh, it does.
You guys,
it helps them.
You guys
It
are all
helps 'em.
right. You're all right.
Wow.
You're all right.
Wow.
Nobody
And you get a
nobody-
compliment. And you get a compliment.
No, but
I kind of like it.
Yeah. Yes, my partner.
Nobody has said anything that's not factually true. This is both a disaster and helpful at the same time.
Yeah.
It just depends on what day on the calendar you're looking at it. 3 years ago, they had the number 2 overall pick.
Damn.
They in a disastrous way they whiffed. Okay, but
That's a fact.
today They got better.
I can't argue with that.
They got better today,
Right.
and yes, their core is going to be happy about it. It's kind of a bummer that OG Anunoby got dangled in front of our face by a report.
We went Farhan. Oh, the
because
Warriors are the
right.
leaders.
Because now again we feel like and who knows? It's only 12:05.
Right.
Like news could still show up, but it looks like the Raptors are largely going to stand pat. The Warriors are relying on the same thing this February that they did last February, which is show up in late March, get really, really healthy, and hit the damn gas. But I'm gonna go back to the original point. If you just look at this through a bottle, just today, nothing mattered if they didn't get better on defense.
Right.
And I don't know if this is enough better, but they got better on defense.
The Warriors.
So let's start
If this
there.
was a golf analogy, the Warriors shot a 71, 1 under par. This is a birdie, this move. You went from Wiseman to GP2, you got better. Every other team in the conference shot a 63 or a 64. So, yeah, you had a cute little round. You made a nice little birdie, but you got Dallas. Phoenix is making eagle after eagle. Even the Lakers got Mo better. Not Mo Bamba.
Yeah, but
they got Mo better than you got.
But we got to keep in mind, the Warriors, we can almost, as one of the only ones, this is going to sound ridiculous at first, but follow me here. Like, they factually got better because you took a player that doesn't play and you're going to turn him into a player that plays.
Right.
Like, acquiring Kevin Durant, it's laughable to say that they didn't get way better, but the Brooklyn Nets didn't. They acquired James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving. So, let's pause before we act like the Mavs and Suns deals worked. We don't know that yet.
The Mavs deal sure did.
These things often blow up when on paper it looks pretty.
And I learned my lesson from that.
It always happens, in fact. Not always, a lot. It happens a lot. I covered the team in L.A. that was on Sports Illustrated, Nash and Powell and Dwight and Kobe, and they stunk. They stunk out loud. They could barely get an 8 seed.
This from the YouTube feed. Let the jet fly. Paid $1.99. It needs to be uttered, and you can always pay for your comments, and they'll get read. He says, buyout market looking better now, and that unfortunately is where we are as Warrior fans because now we turn our attention to the buyout market. GP2 is back. That's great. Well, you still have 5 roster spots that are largely unused.
The one thing that and everybody's going to say this is my nature, and it probably is.
Where you going?
They lost another game last night that they probably should have won. They're 500. They're playing without Curry for at least another 5 or 6 games. They got to be careful right here because I don't know if the Suns are going to win it or. We're starting to see some separation. The Suns are going to start winning more. So you may not be able to catch the Suns. So what I'm saying is you could lose in the next 2 weeks touch with 4 or 5, the seed 4 or 5. And I want you to just also think of the path. Sure, they can beat anybody. But you start thinking about, okay, they're going to have to beat, I don't know who.
I got you, Matt.
They're going to have to beat a Dallas team that I think's at least got another real good player. Suns, Clippers, Denver haven't even brought them up. So I think Memphis. So they're going to have to, if they get there, they're going to have to beat better teams, I think, than they thought 2 weeks ago, maybe.
I know it's only 12:09, but it does very, very much appear like the Warriors are done. This from CJ Holmes. Warriors made a very hard push for OG Anunoby at the deadline. However, he says, I'm told that the Raptors' asking price was too high. They wanted Jonathan Kuminga and others plus picks.
Yeah.
Which actually, that's exactly what I would have expected it to be.
Yeah, and this from Woj,
frankly,
by the way.
I think I would have done it.
Woj reporting, he says the Raptors never turned out to be sellers. They added Spurs center Jakob Poeltl on deadline day, so the notion that the Raptors were going to be sellers, not Peter Sellers, Pink Panther.
The earnest the other day.
Raptors are sitting in the 10 seed right now in the East.
Well, and if the Warriors are a threat at 10, then gosh darn it, Toronto is as well.
Yeah. Well, the Warriors are at 9. So
that was
who knows?
Tony Romo.
Hard to keep track, honestly.
The problem with Anunoby here was that if he came here and you didn't move Kuminga, he's going to take his minutes. He would have taken some of Kuminga's minutes, and then that would have been a problem.
By the way, that would have been even more money.
I love OG. But we've seen some glimpses in that body type from Kuminga to where it ain't Wiseman, to where you hope it don't bite you in the ass. This is like, this dude's different.
But you look at Anunoby, and Mark said this earlier, so I'm stealing from my partner, but Anunoby is what you hope Wiseman someday becomes.
Or
and
Kuminga.
That's what I meant. You watched
yeah.
Kuminga last night, and all of a sudden he looked
That was
like
a bad game.
I mean, how many passes did he drop?
Fumble, dumble, bumble. I'm
Seriously,
like,
like 3 or 4 dimes. It's like, man, kid, you got to catch and score those. But honestly, I look at the Warriors. Yes, they got better, but you look around the conference, and so many other teams
I'll give you guys
they
that.
got much more better. And by the way,
Mo Betta, Mo Bamba.
Mo Betta, and the Warriors slipping the Steph Curry news in the middle of the Wiseman trade.
Can you share it again for
It's
us?
scary because the news is Steph won't be reevaluated until after the All-Star break, which means
Reevaluated.
so when they reevaluate him and they say, okay, he's ready to begin a return to play, you're still at least a week, more likely 2 at that point away from him playing.
Here's the salary savings for the Warriors for those interested in why they would do this. The Warriors will save roughly $7 million in luxury tax this year and $30 next year.
And they punted. They rather do that
$37 million.
than James Wiseman's future and the light coming on.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
sad, man.
Well-
and his body didn't help him, but he didn't help himself either.
Look, he couldn't get on the floor.
Damn.
He's been healthy this year, and they couldn't get on the floor. I mean, sure. He might be Jermaine O'Neal in 2 years. I don't think you're taking that much of a risk, to be honest with you. That's going to be.
He was so big, Mark. He was
know.
what they hadn't had since Weber.
Yeah, but everybody knows somebody tall.
Yeah, well,
You know what I mean?
TME, tall for nothing.
Bonte's tall.
He ain't that much taller than me, and I'm tired of
That's
people
true.
saying he's 6'5", 6'6". I think I'm
He's an
taller than
easy
me.
6'5".
Oh,
yeah, and you're at that age where
brother.
you're starting to get shorter too.
No.
Who's that?
But that's
Guru.
Oh,
'Cause, I mean,
boy.
Steiny, they listed you at 6 foot, and you might be lucky to be
Mr.
5'10"
Tippy
these
Toes
days.
over here.
You shrink, and you start hunching over.
I was
Yeah.
in the pool.
It's a double whammy.
Man, shout out Jordan Poole. So the Warriors are better
Thanks, Diaz.
today than they were yesterday. Truth hurts, but do you feel any better about their chances? I know Guru does.
No, I'm being real.
And that's fine. And maybe it'll all work out. But the other thing is, it also depends if you thought Wiseman was never going to help, or at least had come to that conclusion. Well, then at least you got something that you've already known or thought is nothing.
And there you go.
You know what I mean? Like you can say that mistake was made 3 years ago with Wiseman, but at least we got something for him now.
Well, here's another fun way to look at this. Let's go back in time. Let's go back to the day that GP2.
Shout out Huey Lewis.
Let's go back to when GP2 left to go to Portland.
I'm mad at you.
Right now, people are going to look at this and go, "Now, why would the Warriors not do that contract?"
Right.
Well, they now do have that contract, but they did so in a way that is $37 million less than if they had done it then. And you go, yeah, but they lost Wiseman. Right, they didn't use him anyway. So that was why I was in favor of this from the beginning. Just the mere concept of trading Wiseman, provided that you got something helpful in return. Because what'd you give up? You gave away a tall person who watches the games. There's nobody in Chase Center that I care about who's watching the games. If I could turn him into GP2, that's all he's doing. He's sitting there watching. You didn't give up anything.
If the Warriors, let's say they fizzle out, whatever that means this year, then the Wiseman pick really is going to get scrutinized, and they're really going to get hit for it. Because my feeling is if they don't win it this year, then chances are it's probably over, the run. And maybe even Draymond will leave, I don't know. But that's when you're going to feel no Wiseman. And, well, you may never feel him, if you know what I mean. But
missed.
It's a big miss.
It's a huge miss.
And this
Big
is
miss.
real quick. I'm excited. Steiny takes offense to this.
Because it was supposed to be the pick that kept it going.
If Brandon Payne, who we had on a couple days ago, he said very passionately that Steph, there's no way he's out for the year, because that was my worst fear.
Right.
And during this Warrior run, if this does come to fruition and they actually lose, and as I remember the Celtics, the Lakers with Magic, the Bulls, and Detroit, when you kind of knew it was over, this will be the first year, fellas, if they're not good enough, barring that they're back healthy, that we see another team and we see the Warriors like okay, they need to do something fully healthy because we have not technically, and I know Toronto's there and Stein's like they got beat. They did, but they lost KD and Klay Thompson.
Clay, yeah.
We haven't seen that movie yet. So I got my popcorn like, you're going to have to beat them. And it ain't just about names on the paper. You're going to have to go out there and stop the back cuts and all that. The best version of the Warriors. That's what I'm betting on.
I would say the odds are that the best version of the Warriors is less likely to come into fruition in April this year than ever before. You got Steph hoping to come back from a weird knee injury. And GP2, the guy's barely played a dozen games this year. He missed almost the entire season. And Draymond's been banged up. Clay's been phenomenal, but you'd be lucky, I think, to have all these guys healthy and ready to go come April. And you still might, you might be the 11th seed watching.
You gotta be lucky. Yeah, of course you gotta be lucky.
Yeah.
So
now you gotta be good and lucky because right now you're in a situation where you gotta win not one but 2 play-in games, and you've never won a play-in game in your
And
history.
you got to win last night, Mark.
Yeah,
Steiny said it. That's what's scaring me.
Well, sure. They keep being in the same spot with 5 minutes to go in games, and their games
Quarter horse.
You used to be able to just go ahead and check the green check. What do you
the
mean?
Warriors got to win you
up by
right.
1 with 3 minutes to go.
Come on
green
now.
check. I don't even need to watch. And this year it feels like the opposite.
And Poole doing the Humpty dance down 1. You got to close that if you're going to dance. They didn't score after that. 5 minutes and
ripping
40
the best player on the
seconds.
floor last
Tip of the
night.
cap to DiVincenzo after his dunk. After his dunk, and everybody's losing their mind. He celebrated for a brief second, and he realized, we're down 6. I'm going to go ahead and D-up.
That dude's
dunk
playing
was
his
insane.
ass off.
I'll give you this on the whole idea of the play-in tournament. Today it does feel like a more likely result for the Warriors.
Oh my gosh!
Here's why. Like I could easily look at this and go, well, they're only a game and a half out of the 6th seed right now. Right, but now look at the 6 teams that in this moment are sitting up there. There's the Nuggets, there's the Grizzlies, and now even the Kings, who have created a little bit of separation. Who are the other 3 teams? Mavs, Suns, Clippers.
Oh.
Big swing, big swing, big swing. Rosters, healthy, big stars. You got to go catch at least one of those
Get
teams
the popcorn.
in order to not be in the play-in tournament.
Meanwhile, you're trying to stave off the Lakers.
The new Lakers coming to Saturday.
Pelicans.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Wolves, Blazers, Jazz.
Boy.
Here comes Russell Westbrook, and you know he plays hard.
He's a Jazz. He's always going to be a Jazz.
He's a Jazz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. I can't wait to listen
I'll
to
see
the
you
show,
Sunday,
you
Willard.
guys.
You still in?
All
You still
ready,
in?
baby. Yep.
Okay.
You can tell me what to bring.
I'm
thinking clear.
You bring whatever you want. I do
All right.
want to know what you're going to bring.
Okay,
though.
I'll tell you. I got you.
Yeah. I do want to know. And thank you for almost getting Ray Ratto to come.
That's what happened.
He out.
Don King did. I thought I had him coming.
Don King
I told Snarty he's coming.
Willard and Dibs are like Ray Ratto. We out.